Our speaker this evening is Daniel Longoria. Mr. Longoria is a Lincoln Northeast graduate of the 1974 class. He is the founder and president of the CRCT Law Enforcement and Security Teams training systems. He is currently celebrating 50 years of training in the martial arts and was awarded the title of Grand Master this year. According to the world publication of Taekwondo Times, he is the founding member of the fastest growing martial arts organization in the world. He has served 22 years as an instructor of self-defense and personal protection accredited classes at the University of Nebraska. It is my pleasure to introduce Grand Master Daniel Longoria.
I'm a karate guy, so what am I doing here? I was actually a C student, B at the best, so the Honor Society thing was the furthest thing that I ever experienced while I was at school here at Northeast. I'm a Northeast boy, grew up going to Pershing, went to Mickle, and then graduated from here at Northeast with along with my four brothers. So class of 74, I'm coming up not this summer, coming summer, but the next summer on 50 years, our anniversary, which just doesn't seem like it's been 50 years, but it has been. But I digress a little bit. I was not a good student when I was in grade school, middle school, and high school. I found martial arts when I was about 16. I had grown up in boxing, wrestling. My brothers and I were all wrestlers here from Lincoln. Two of them are on awards wall here for their state titles. My older brother was the first state wrestling champ representing Lincoln Northeast. I have a cousin that went to Lincoln High, and he was the very first national champion from the University of Nebraska. So wrestling was part of my family, was part of our identity. So we were all really good at that. And now I look back, and if I would have attributed all those kind of attributes that you guys strive for, the four basic attributes, the attributes of character, leadership, scholarship, and service, if I'd applied that was in me into my scholastics, I probably would be up here or been up here with you guys. But I didn't. I didn't know any better. It wasn't my passion at the time. Sports and wrestling, the fighting arts were my passion and are still my passion. Like I said, I've been celebrating. I started at 16 in karate. I started training with an instructor at University of Nebraska. And then in 78, I started training in Taekwondo, which is the art that I teach now, and that I received my title as a Grand Master. What the martial arts taught me at that younger age, though, was discipline, focus, goal setting. All these attributes that all you guys up here obviously have. I didn't realize I had it. It came out of me with my martial arts. I did go back to school. When I graduated from Northeast, I tried the University of Nebraska. I was only 17 years old. I was even smaller than I am now. I was like 5'2" maybe. I weighed 115 pounds, so I felt a little out of place at the university. So it wasn't for me. And I had a family that owned a restaurant here in Lincoln, and that was kind of where I went. I knew I was going to run a restaurant. And so that's what I did. As the restaurant grew and I took over the restaurant, I realized I needed more education, I needed more expertise, and I needed to do something to help with the restaurant. So I went back to school. I went to SCC, and they had a program that was a restaurant management course. So I got my associate degree at SCC 10 years after I graduated from high school. And I did end up with a 3.97. I got all A's except for one class. And to this day, I say that was not fair. It wasn't a fair B. It was subjective. It was the one class was art decorating. I mean, how do you grade that? She didn't like my art. That's not fair. It was subjective, you know. So I didn't get the 4.0, but I did graduate on the dean list there. And again, I attribute it to the martial arts, which awoken in me these attributes that you guys obviously have. These attributes of character. You know, character is defined as a moral, ethical quality of a person. I mentioned that, or I was mentioned that I've been part of an association for 42 years. It was that organization I belonged to. I was one of the highest ranks in the organization. It's the world's largest organization. There are over 150,000 members worldwide, and I was number 11 at the rank of the highest. And after 42 years of working with that company, I had to resign. Part of it was because of character. The business model that I had switched to didn't fit with my morals, didn't fit with my ethics, and so I had to have the courage to decide I put all this time into this organization, and now I'm going to step back. And that was 3 years ago. Less than 2 years ago, I was part of a group of other black belts and instructors that had had the same feeling. We got together and we decided we can do better. We know we can do better. We've been doing it forever. So we started our organization, and in 18 months we're up to over 250 schools worldwide. We've been branded as the fastest growing martial arts organization in the world. And that, again, comes from that first attribute of character, ethics, morality. Those are all things that were instilled in me, and that's how I run my business. That's how I run my martial arts school. That's how I teach the kids in my school. Leadership. Leadership is the ability to lead. I think that's one of the biggest attributes of why we've been successful. With our leadership, the first thing I think that you should understand in leadership is understanding that the best way to lead is by example first. Instead of saying one thing and then actually doing a different thing, no one will follow. If you can remember that, stay with your ethics, stay with your morality, and then lead by example, people will follow. And that's what we've done in an organization, and that's what I do in my school. My school, I started in Northeast Lincoln in 1990. It was a little club at the Goodyear Rec Center, which used to be a Havelock grade school when I was growing up. It kind of grew. I don't know if it's even there anymore, but we were kind of booted out, and so we had students who were like, well, we need to do something for Northeast Lincoln because my other school was in South Lincoln. So we opened up a little school in the Piccadilly Square over on Conner Boulevard. It was less than 900 square feet, so it was smaller than a 30 by 30 room. I had 15 students, and that's how I started my Northeast martial arts business. Again, that was in 1995. So today, my school technically is in South Lincoln. It's on the other side of O Street. I still consider myself a Northeast boy, and we're still in North Lincoln. But my school now is 18,000 square feet, and we have over 650 students. And again, that comes from that second attribute of leadership by example, a leadership with ethics. And that's what we profess in our school, and that's what we live by, and that's what we teach. And that's what I think has helped us to grow, and that's what helps me as one of the heads of an organization for these other school owners and these other instructors to go, that's what I want to do. If he can do it, I can do it. And then that's exactly what I do. I get to go across the world, across the country, and mentor young instructors and young business owners of starting their own martial arts facilities. Scholarship. The character, qualities, achievement, and attainments of a scholar. Learning. That's really what it's about. I think my success comes from the fact that because I was so fanatical about my martial arts training with boxing, wrestling, karate, taekwondo, hapkido, Krav Maga, it was all these different arts that I teach were because I was myself striving to learn. That was probably my biggest motivator. I just wanted to get better. I just wanted to understand it, everything that I could get to become a better fighter, to become better at my martial arts. And so learning is a big aspect of what the martial arts is about. It's understanding, developing your techniques. It's about the physical, but more importantly, it's also about the mental part. It's about the heart. The things that we strive for, my instructors strive for in this school, is that we develop our students both physically and mentally. If they're not mentally where they need to be, we can't teach them the physical part for the simple fact that we want to make sure that they wouldn't use it incorrectly. So that's a big part of what we do, even for the little kids that come in as well. I mean, in a night, I work with 4-year-olds all the way up to adults that are on SWAT teams. I mean, it's the whole gamut of working with children and developing their listening skills, their focus, their concentration, so that they're not bullied, or that they learn to control it so they're not bullies, as well as I work with teens and adults that need confidence building, conditioning, exercise, some mental toughness to help them deal with school and or work. I work with law enforcement because that's their livelihood, to keep them alive, to get home to their families. I work exclusively with a SORT team, which is the SWAT team for the state of Nebraska Penitentiary Department. And that's a big responsibility. I mean, everything I teach them, it has to work. Their life depends on it. As was mentioned, I've been teaching at the University of Nebraska since 2000. This is my 22nd year of teaching at the University of Nebraska as an accredited class of self-defense. And the class is geared towards personal protection for the students. A big portion of that class, I'm proud to say, is it's about 70% female, because one of the highest assault rates in Nebraska, in the nation actually, is 17 to 21-year-old females. So I take that personally. I have a daughter that I work with young ladies to understand about personal protection, making good choices, being aware of their surroundings, and God forbid, actually having to use kicks and punches to defend themselves. But that's part of the training that I do at the University of Nebraska. So the scholarship part, the learning part, it's an ongoing, I do it to this day. I train every day, and I learn just as much from my students as they learn from me, if not more. Because lots of times when I'm teaching them something, it'll be in my head like, that's what I'm doing wrong, something I just fixed. That's one of the great benefits of teaching. You actually learn by listening to yourself. Sometimes we actually know a lot. We just have to learn to listen to ourselves. The fourth aspect or attribute you guys control is service, and which is an act of helpful activity. I think this is probably the most important. Of all the things that I've accomplished and all the material that I have and all the knowledge I've gained, none of it would mean anything if I didn't share it. I mean, that's really, martial arts was and is my passion, but I think it's kind of become secondary to my teaching. More than anything else, I love to be able to teach and work with students, whether it be that 4-year-old or that 54-year-old or the 34-year-old, whatever age they might be, just watching them when we get something and they get it and they just go, it's kind of that aha moment. I get it. There's just something about being part of that process of watching somebody understand something and then actually absorbing it. So I guess if I had any profound words for you guys up here, it would be follow these 4 things. You obviously have them. That's why you're up here, because you have these attributes. Don't waste them. I will give you this. Find your passion. Whatever that passion is, and I'm not saying a passion because it's going to make you more money or not. Money doesn't make you happy. Find your passion. What makes you happy? And then apply these 4 attributes that you guys have in you as soon as you can to that. Then, if you're lucky, that passion will actually be your profession, in which case you have a profession and not a job. When you work your profession, when you work your passion, you never work a day in your life. My family owned a restaurant. Some of you Northeast people would remember Arturo's Taco Hut. My family owned that for 46 years. I worked it for 36. I retired out of it because I just got tired of burning the candle at both ends, running a restaurant for 70 hours a week and running 2 martial arts facilities 50 hours a week. I just wasn't seeing my family, and I couldn't do it. So I decided, I loved the restaurant and I loved our clientele, but it wasn't my passion. It was my job. So I decided I wanted to go with what I enjoyed the most, which was my martial arts. And when I quit working the restaurant and only started doing martial arts, which was almost 20 years ago. That's how long I've been retired. 20 years ago, I stopped working. In fact, that's one of the biggest things I get now. I just turned 66, and a lot of the younger students, instructors that I work with, they always ask me, Grandmaster Longoria, you're over 65. You're a Grandmaster. There's nowhere else for you to go. Why don't you retire? And retire to do what? I'm doing what I love doing. Not to mention the fact that when I walk into my school, people bow to me. They call me master. If they make me mad, I get to kick and punch them. And then they pay me. Why would I retire? I'm doing what I love to do. And again, that's the biggest thing I can try to give to you guys is find your passion, apply these attributes that you guys have in you, you obviously have in you, and then fly with it. You will be happy the rest of your life. You will do what you need to do, and you will be extremely successful. But then, share it. That's the most important attribute of the four. Service. Share it. Don't do it and hoard it. Share it. When you share it, then you help everyone. And that's what's going to bring you up. And that's what's going to be your legacy. Thank you for inviting me here. Again, it was a great honor because this is the closest I ever got to being part of this society. And now I can brag that I was part of it at Northeast, even though it was almost 50 years later. Again, good luck with everything you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Mr. Longoria. Membership in the National Honor Society is one of the highest honors that can be awarded to a high school student. The National Honor Society has worked hard to bring the accomplishments of these outstanding students to the attention of parents, teachers, peers, and the community. Chapters in more than 13,000 schools across the nation strive to give practical meaning to the Society's goals of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. To demonstrate these pillars, this year's NHS has selected the Pediatric Cancer Action Network project and the Ocean Conservancy as our global project. During this school year, we are raising funds, and the Heifer International as our global project. During this school year, we are raising funds through various activities to donate to these causes. Membership of the Northeast High School chapter of the National Honor Society is earned by the effective demonstration of the four qualities held in high esteem by the Society. Four current officers will explain the pillars of NHS. First pillar is character.
Michael Josephson stated, "Personal integrity is important, not because it gets us what we want, but because it helps us be what we want." Character is the force within each individual that distinguishes that person from others. It gives each of us our individuality. Without it, no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and, when once developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character. Our chapter reflects high character and the expectations for each member. We participate in many activities such as Salvation Army bell ringing, car washes, and volleyball, where integrity, honesty, and responsibility are mandatory with the collection of money. We also hold ourselves accountable for our actions at school and in the community as representatives of Northeast NHS. White is symbolic of purity and truth, thus it becomes symbolic of character.
Second pillar is scholarship.
James Russell Lowell noted, "True scholarship consists in knowing not what things exist, but what they mean. It is not memory, but judgment." Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and studying, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education only ends when life does. Knowledge is one great element in life which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Our chapter understands the importance of learning, and we promote scholarship through our high academic standards. All members must meet and maintain academic criteria to remain part of NHS. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates have to charge to continually expand their world through opportunities inherent in scholarship. Pink is symbolic of divine wisdom, value, strength, and an attribute to dignity. Plus, it becomes symbolic of scholarship.
The third pillar is leadership.
Douglas MacArthur asserted, "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent." Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources exist in a country, it is ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a substantive charge to each of our members. To this end, our members show leadership through action. We help lead assemblies, participate in other school activities, promote service projects, and take on leadership roles in the classroom. Purple is symbolic of power, the regal color. Thus, it becomes symbolic of leadership.
The fourth pillar is service.
Booker T. Washington declared, "Those who are the happiest are those who do the most for others." Service can be described in various ways. During the routine of the day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. The willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compassion or recognition is the quality we seek in our membership. Of all the objectives of the Honor Society, service holds a place of distinction because of all the culmination of all other pillars: character, scholarship, and leadership. All have their place in a person's makeup, but they are all worthless unless the final result in active service for others. Our chapter volunteers in many types of projects. Some of these include Pumpkin Run, Boo at the Zoo, Relay for Life, People City Mission, Drive, and Fun Night at many elementary schools. We hold various fundraisers throughout the year to donate to local causes and global causes. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and ability to the creation of a better tomorrow for our community. Red is symbolic of bravery, courage, and the call to serve. Thus, it becomes a symbolic of service.
At this time, we are proud to introduce this year's NHS inductees. Candidates, please stand when your name is called and remain standing until the next candidate's announcement.
Okay, Abdallah. Abdallah is a senior who participates in esports, engineering club, and Upward Bound. He has volunteered with Avid, Rocket Crew, and Bright Lights. He wants to use this opportunity through NHS to better himself. You can sit. Shireen Ahmed. Shireen is a junior. She participates in HOSA, Upward Bound, and Student Ambassadors. She has volunteered with the Indian Center, Wayfinder at Bryan, and making holiday cards for elderly. Shireen wants to develop her leadership and teamwork skills by helping with various NHS projects. Eli Ash. Eli is a junior who has participated in golf, basketball, and Rocket Rowdies. He has volunteered at golf camps, People City Mission, Cornhusker State Games, and Highway Cleanup. He sees NHS as an opportunity to develop leadership skills and prepare him for the future. Ali Badura. Ali is a junior. She has participated in cross country and soccer. Her volunteer activities include People City Mission, concessions, Girl Scouts, and delivering food during the holidays. Ali intends to use her time management skills to help with NHS projects and continue her development of various skills. Harper Bobbitt. Harper is a junior who participates in volleyball, orchestra, Rocket Crew, and leadership role in music. She has volunteered with Rocket Crew and with middle and elementary schools. She is looking forward to expanding volunteer opportunities to help develop various skills in addition to helping the community. Amelia Brooks. Amelia is a junior. She participates in student council, cross country, and soccer. She has volunteered at soccer camps and at Color, along with collecting stuffed animals for a fundraiser. Amelia plans to expand her leadership skills and volunteer opportunities through NHS. Sarah Sheikha. Sarah is a senior who is active with Varsity Show Choir, LNE Dance Team, Concert Choir, and Musical. She has volunteered with Relay for Life as well. She intends to broaden her leadership experiences and volunteer activities through NHS. Leah Christensen. Leah is a junior. She is active with marching band, jazz band, wind ensemble, bowling, and academic decathlon. Her volunteer activities include concessions at rodeo finals, church events like Holiday of Trees, and organizational aspects for music performances. Leah sees NHS as a way to increase her involvement and grow as a person. Mary Clarkson. Mary is a junior who participates in Star Shredders, Rocket Crew, and Student Council, where she currently serves as president. She has volunteered for Make-A-Wish, Food Bank, blood drives, and at Center for People in Need. Mary intends to use her role in NHS as a way to increase her community involvement and build her leadership skills. Isabella Kondon-Matsky. Isabella is a junior. She is active in cross country, swimming, track, marching band, and Air Force ROTC. Her volunteer activities include drill security, trail cleanup, and helping with Bickle Band. Isabella wants to improve her leadership skills and involvement in the community through NHS. Ethan Covington. Ethan is a junior who has participated in football, track and field, and orchestra. He has volunteered at youth football camps, Freedom Riders Dinner, and Elks Lodge dinners. Ethan hopes to increase his opportunities to develop skills and activities through NHS.
Taylin cries for ribs. Taylin is a senior who is active in soccer, basketball, club lacrosse, and trauma warriors. Her volunteer activities include Take Pause and Down Syndrome Walk. Taylin wants to improve her skills as a student, as a leader, and as a volunteer with the opportunities provided in NHS. Hannah Dean. Hannah is a junior. She's participated in choir, trap club, golf, and 4-H. She has volunteered with church food pantry, golf concessions, and various activities through her church youth group. Hannah hopes to expand her volunteer opportunities for the community through NHS. Savannah Flores. Savannah is a junior who has participated in student council, tennis, theater, and engineering club. Her volunteer activities include various projects through student councils, such as Hollapalooza and blood drives. She wants to be more involved with school and community through NHS. Frankie Green. Frankie is a junior. She has participated in track and field, rocket crew, student ambassadors, and sister circle. Her volunteer activities include freshman immersion week, football camp, and various activities with her church youth group. Frankie wants to use NHS to branch out to community activities and build leadership skills. Johanna Hidalgo Ramirez. Johanna is a senior who is active in soccer, rocket crew, and Sociedad Honoraria Hispanica. She's volunteered with LNE Culture Night and Grupo de Jóvenes. She wants to help others at school and in the community through various NHS projects. Lars Kessler. Lars is a senior. He has participated in marching band, wind ensemble, percussion ensemble, student council, LNE Athletic Student Advisory, and student manager for basketball. His volunteer activities include Make-A-Wish, Riley Elementary Back to School event, and LNE teacher competition. Lars intends to expand volunteer opportunities through NHS. Vincent Lee. Vincent is a senior who has participated in track and field, football, basketball, orchestra, and student council. He has volunteered for blood drives, clothing drives, charity walks, Salvation Army, and various church events. He wants to develop new skills for both leadership and involvement with the community with NHS. Oliver Lubeck. Oliver is a senior. He has been active with tennis, soccer, and track and field. His volunteer activities include blood donation and Food Net Lincoln. Oliver sees NHS as an opportunity to broaden his volunteer experiences throughout the school and community. Ashlyn Lutz. Ashlyn is a junior who is active in softball, swim team, NASA, and club softball. She has volunteered for Read Across America, Brown LCLC, and Mission 22Q. She wants to continue developing leadership skills through NHS. Ni Lu. Ni is a junior who has participated in orchestra, Tri-M, tennis, and student council. Her volunteer activities include Make-A-Wish, blood drive, clothing drive, Hollapalooza, food bank, and the Indian Center. Ni wants to continue expanding her community involvement and developing leadership skills through NHS. Catherine Matson. Catherine is a senior. She is active in track and field, cross country, yearbook, and girls state. She has volunteered with concessions, booster blastoff, and Pink Gorilla events. She intends to develop skills in leadership and service with NHS.
Nak Nguyen. Nak is a senior who has participated in Culture Leadership Club, K-pop Club, Trio ETS, and Student Ambassadors. Her volunteer activities include food and diaper distribution with the Center for People in Need and Pershing Pals. Nak wants to continue developing and growing as a person who is involved in her community through NHS. Carson Pierce. Carson is a junior. He has been active in band, golf, unified bowling, tennis, and NASA. He has volunteered with concessions, various athletic events, mowing lawns for others, and church events. Carson sees NHS as a way to expand his involvement at school and within the community. Mackenzie Pike. Mackenzie is a junior who has participated in golf, tennis, LNE Rowdies, NASA, and the Hobby Leadership Retreat. Her volunteer activities include sports camps, trunk or treat, Salt Dogs fundraisers, Matt Talbot, and various events with her church. She intends to develop her values in helping others through NHS. Emma Rainey. Emma is a senior. She has been active in cross-country, marching band, wind ensemble, and the engineering club. She has volunteered with various music events, Pershing Pals, Salvation Bell ringing, and church events. Emma wants to expand her involvement in the community with NHS. Liam Renard. Liam is a junior who has participated in marching band, wind ensemble, cross country, swim team, and soccer. His volunteer activities include concessions, cross country, MICL events, and the church events. Liam plans to develop leadership skills through NHS and expand his volunteer experiences. Lainey Songster. Lainey is a junior. She has been active in student council, volleyball, and track and field. She has volunteered as a MICL mentor with state volleyball and church events. Lainey wants to develop her leadership skills and expand opportunities through NHS. Ella Steffens. Ella is a junior who has participated in golf, tennis, academic decathlon, and orchestra. Her volunteer activities include concessions, booster golf tournaments, booster blast-off, Meals on Wheels, and church events. Ella intends to challenge herself with new opportunities and skills through NHS. Trevor Vosasic. Trevor is a junior. He has been active in NASA, track and field, swim and dive team, football, and student ambassadors. He has volunteered with football camps, Read Across America, Elks Lodge 80, elementary school outreach, and Capital City Church Halloween. Trevor plans to expand his opportunities for community service and leadership with NHS. Delaney Woodward. Delaney is a senior who has participated in Star Shredders, where she has served as the team captain and social media secretary. Her volunteer activities include Relay for Life, Backpack Walk, and Cornister State Games. She wants to continue her growth as a leader and her participation within the community through NHS. Lauren Zuko. Lauren is a junior. New to LNE, she has been active in student council, key club, volleyball, softball, band, choir, and theater at her past school. She has volunteered with various events through her key club and student council. Lauren intends to become involved with the school and community through NHS.
Candidates, please rise. Repeat the pledge after me. I pledge myself to always seek the light of truth, to hold scholarly habits, to engage in worthy service, and to lead forward in all things that shall advance the welfare of my school and the well-being of my community. Let's congratulate the new Northeast National Honor Society members. Candidates, you may be seated. Thank you. Ms. Appleby will provide our closing remarks.
Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight to celebrate these wonderful scholars with us. This is one of my favorite things that we get to do. And I have the opportunity tonight, I want you to know how very proud we are of you. The energy and the leadership and the character that I see on the stage in front of me is just phenomenal, and the officers in front of me. So thank you for just being who you are and representing Northeast so well, and we're very proud of you. I also have, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's easy for me to be focused on things that, I maybe forget about these wonderful things. Like tonight I was worried about the candles at one point. I was like, oh, we're going to have a chance to do an evacuation drill, but they're hanging on. That purple one was tipping a little bit. So it's fun to have just this positive, fun group in front of us. And I want to take a moment and just thank, first of all, the selection committee that helped select our new inductees, and all of the staff, because it does take a community to help interact and get to be on this journey and this fun ride with all of our students. So thank you to all of our faculty. And I need to thank Ms. Grease for just your leadership and your continued dedication and guidance for this group in particular, but also for the work that you do every day in your classroom. So thank you, Ms. Grease. I'm not sure our ROTC cadets are still here, but thank you again for representing and presenting colors. That's always special, and I know that we get to do that at Northeast, and that's something that is just a fun way to see our students work in the community in that manner as well. So I don't want to make Ms. Grease too nervous, but I'm going to go off script just for a moment. I'm going to invite Mr. Haney up here to actually do the closing remarks. So, Mr. Haney.
Thank you, Mrs. Appleby. Just to kind of echo some of the things that you said, I don't think there are prouder moments for a teacher than to see their students being successful. And for me, when I look in the front rows here and I look behind me, I get to see a lot of my former students up here. And it brings me great joy. Know that it brings your teachers great joy to see all of you walking through the hallways every day, representing yourselves as students, representing yourselves as leaders, and representing the great people that you have become. So congratulations to you all. Families, congratulations to you on a job well done as well. So one more round of applause. That being said, a few years ago, Northeast began a partnership with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's East Campus, and we kicked off a new focus program called FUSE. FUSE stands for Food, Energy, Water, and Societal Systems. And kind of the goal of FUSE is to give students experiences in those areas. We recognize we're going to need help in those areas in the coming years. Like I said, we're trying to give our students some experiences with those. They get a lot of neat opportunities through the University of Nebraska, both when they come to Northeast and when we get to go visit them. And one of the greatest things that have come from that in that partnership has been a newly renovated media center for us. So I would like to invite you all to join us in a reception in that media center, get a chance to take a look around, and congratulate these young people one more time. So thank you very much.